Salve galera, Cantox, mais um episódio aqui de Final Fantasy XVI. Vamos dessa vez resolver as últimas quests secundárias aqui do jogo. No episódio anterior a gente quase resolveu todas, mas como o volume é bastante grande, já conseguimos resolver boa parte, principalmente as fora do esconderijo. Conseguimos resolver boa parte, agora é só resolver os do esconderijo mesmo e também estamos perto de zerar o jogo. Vamos continuar aqui. E é isso aí, galera. Quem tiver não esquece de deixar aquele like lá e compartilhar pra gente pra dar aquela força e se inscrever se for inscrito. Deixa eu ver quem dá pra começar. De olho no céu. Tentativa e erro. Mestre de si. Vamos falar com ele pra começar.
Sid, I was wondering if you could help me.
It depends what with.
A bearer, but recently freed from his bonds, is keen to join the Curse Breakers. As you know, the work we do is not easy, which is why we test every volunteer's suitability. I was hoping you could oversee this one's evaluation.
I don't mind, but why this one?
Because he wants to be a scout. Our ranks are filled with men and women capable of breaking chains and putting slavers to the sword. But scouting, we're few with the nose for that, which is why we still rely so heavily on Gav. And since he accompanies you on so many of your missions, I thought you might be better placed to recognize the traits in him that we should look for in those who'd fill his boots.
Sounds reasonable.
So you're happy to oversee the boys' test, then?
Vamos ajudar ele.
One can never have too many scouts.
Truer words, Sid. I'll let the initiate know that you'll be attending his trial, and that he is to proceed directly to Northreach in readiness.
No time like the present, eh?
No time like the present. I'll await you there.
Northreach. I don't suppose they could have chosen somewhere closer.
Vamos voltar pro rincão setentrional. Pra cá. Pelo menos vamos voltar mesmo pra fazer as missões pontuais.
Nazir might at least have mentioned where in Northreach he'd be testing this recruit.
I'm nervous. Is it all
Deixa
right
eu
to be
só
nervous?
ajustar uma coisa. Aí,
So long as you do as I tell.
pronto.
Well met, Sid. This is the initiate. Ember, present yourself.
At your service, Master.
Please, just Sid. There are no masters here. Your life is your own.
Oh, of course. Thank you, Sid. The sergeant says you'll be evaluating me at my trial.
To become a scout, yes. You are aware of the dangers inherent in that role.
I am. But I swore I'd face them. Just like the man who saved my life.
And who would that be?
Gav. It was him who found me and freed me. No magic, no support, just one man and his nose. Came and sniffed me out. It taught me what one man can do if he puts his mind to it. And I've been training ever since, so that one day I can be someone's saviour, just like Gav was mine.
I'm sure he'd be flattered. You clearly have good intentions, Ember. And it sounds like you're under no illusions. Stick to this path and you'll make a fine curse breaker.
So, what? Have I passed?
You haven't even started yet. Now listen. Not far from here is an Imperial lookout, Eastwatch. The guards there record all their sightings in a logbook. You are to find it and bring it here.
And bring it here, right. Anything else?
No. Sneaking into a heavily guarded Imperial outpost and stealing the logbook would be quite sufficient. You'll need to assess the situation, determine a point of entry, create a distraction and effect an escape, all without being discovered and thrown into an Imperial oubliette.
Ember, Gav isn't our best scout because he can do everything. It's essential that you know your limits.
Know my limits, right. I won't let you down.
It shouldn't be as dangerous as I made out. But keep a weather eye on him all the same, would you?
On my way. All right, Ember. Impress me.
Torre Leste. Bem, eu vou direto pra lá.
Time to fight.
Aqui, subindo.
These are clean kills. Perhaps young Ember really is ready. Or maybe not.
Estamos chegando.
Damn it.
Wyvern.
Ember, draw your sword!
I can't.
Then run!
If you want him, you'll have to go through me. Too slow.
Você vai morrer, seu maldito.
Nice try.
Quase no stagger. Estamos 5 level acima e ele não tá dando trabalho. Morre! E a vida dele só derrete. Queima! Quase no stag. E parece que não vai dar tempo. Queimar, talvez. Pronto. Resolvido.
Ember, are you... Gone. Of course. Scouts really are a rare breed. Back to Northreach it is then.
Bem, tem um baú aqui. Deixa eu ver se tem mais alguma coisa. Acho que não. Dá pra voltar direto pra cá. Aí, vamos falar com ele.
I didn't expect you back so soon. Where is Ember? How did he fare?
I thought I'd find him with you. He must have fled. I followed him to Eastwatch, where I found him being set upon by a wild Avis. He was just standing there. Didn't even draw his sword. I had to step in and take care of things. But by the time I had, he was nowhere to be seen. I assumed he'd set off in your direction, but apparently not.
I'm sorry, Sid. I knew the boy had a nervous streak, but he seemed like...
The right man for the job? I believe this is the logbook you tasked me with retrieving.
Eh? How did you... Don't you tell me you breached the tower while Sid was busy saving your skin.
What? Wasn't that what you asked me to do? To bring the thing back without getting caught?
He has you there, Nazaire. And he did it all on his own.
But Sid, he
did what he thought was best. And now I have to decide whether I agree.
Of course. We'll await your evaluation back at the hideaway. Don't you leave my sight.
Yes, Sergeant.
This won't be an easy decision.
Vamos voltar para o esconderijo. Acho que com daí já devemos cumprir a missão. Agora acho que é só falar com ele que aí já devemos cumprir mesmo.
Welcome back, Sid.
Welcome back, Sid.
Yes. Welcome back. Trip wasn't too much of a pain in the arse, I hope. Truth be told, it was me who suggested roping you in to help with the trial. But from what I hear, things didn't go quite as planned.
No, they most certainly did not. When faced with an unexpected foe, Ember froze. He did not run. He did not fight. Had I not been there, he would be dead. It would be too great a risk to send him out on a mission alone.
Thank you, Sid, for your honest appraisal. Ember, you braved the tower and emerged unscathed. Yes, but only because Sid saved your skin. To me, that's no better than being caught red-handed. You failed the test.
Wait, Sergeant. Ember still has much to learn, it's true. And this time he was found wanting. But I'd say he's due a second chance, nonetheless. After all, he did do as you asked.
With a bit of hard work, any hand can be made to hold a blade, and any mind can conquer its fears. But a scout's nose is different. You've either got one, or you ain't. And by sniffing out that log, young Ember here has shown he has a conch and a half. Wouldn't do to waste it now, would it?
Fine. One more chance.
I'll do whatever you ask. I'll spend my days and nights in the pit if I have to. I'll show you. Just you wait.
Daft as a brush, that one. But his heart's in the right place. Just like someone else we know. And if you ask me, we've been leaning on him for far too long. That time the curse breakers took some of the weight off his shoulders, I reckon.
It couldn't hurt.
Just don't tell Gav I said so, will you? I won't have him thinking he's been hard done by. Next thing you know,
Salve aí, tio Hit.
looking for a day off. Chance would be a fine thing.
Acho que você vai gostar de ver esse Final Fantasy aqui. Eu tô só resolvendo secundária, mas no momento das brigas é o que faz valer bastante a pena.
Forgive me, Sid. This did not play out as I expected.
Things really do these days. But that's why we need men like Ember more than ever. Men who can make the best out of a bad situation. Remember that.
I will, Sid. Thank you.
Aí, missão cumprida. Se eu fosse recomendar um pra começar, ô tio Hit, pega o Assassin's Creed 2. Ele é muito bom. Você vai acabar gostando. Liberou mais uma secundária nova. Deixa eu ver onde é que dá pra ir. Eu tô querendo deixar essa aqui por último. Já temos até renome pra resgatar. O bom de Assassin's Creed é que ele também te dá uma boa noção histórica. E qual que é o tempo que ele se passa? Na Renascença. Um pouco depois da Idade Média, basicamente. Você vai ver figura conhecida como Leonardo da Vinci, que você já deve ter ouvido falar. Deixa eu ver qual missão que dá pra fazer. Acho que é essa daqui, Mestres de Si.
Sid, do you have a moment?
By all means.
It's my old master. Seems there's no escaping her.
É um jogo legal. É Assassin's Creed. Eu já até trouxe
And something
o 2, o Brotherhood e o Revelations. Esses três são continuações diretas um do outro.
How did she come by such a thing?
E são bons jogos, Assassin's Creed, mas assim, os recentes eu não tenho jogado. Mas esses daí eu recomendo. O 2, Brotherhood e o Revelations.
And even better for her. Bearers with no one to look after them. When ether started lapping at the walls, the jailers fled.
Leaving the bearers to be liberated by whoever happened to come along next.
Sid, I'd like to believe that I've earned your trust by now. And while I'm well aware that you've forbidden Cursebreakers from traveling to Elude, I can't let those bearers die in their cells. I'd rather risk shipwreck on the Shadow Coast than leave them to starve.
Vamos lá ajudar ela.
We'll be needing the Enterprise if we're going to navigate the Narrow.
Does that mean...
I'm making an exception, but we travel together. And we stay no longer than we have to. Ash is an inhospitable place at the best of times. We save as many as we can, and we leave.
Thank you, Sid. There was a name in the prison register. A name from my past. Chadwick. Another of my former master's protégés. A gifted soldier, and the closest thing I had to family. The thought of him held captive in that place.
He must be very important to you.
He was. Is.
Then we find him.
The entrance to the prison lies in the shadow of Ravenwit Walls, just beyond the portcullis. We should head there as quickly as we can. I only pray there are still bearers alive to save.
As do I, Doris.
Beleza. Treva de Balmog. Vamos pra lá. Sabia que era aqui. Ah, essa secundária é massa. Leva uma caçada. Se tiver aí, ô tio Hit, agora vai ser um momento interessante. Que as batalhas aqui, eu até me lembro que essa daqui que a gente vai acabar fazendo é nível chefe. Não sei se você tá aí, mas você vai querer ver isso. Vamos para o Coliseu. Tem bombas aqui. Chegamos.
There were no guards, I take it.
None manning the gates, no. It's a different story inside, though. The corridors are crawling with Akashic. Most likely guards left behind when the wardens ran. If Chadwick was being held here, I worry that he may already be.
Don't give up hope just yet. But let's move quickly. Let me check the ground floor. The ether stick is there.
Then I'll search the upper level. Good luck, Sid. Stay safe.
Bem, essa missão, do que eu me lembro, a gente tem que abrir essa porta daqui e temos que resgatar, acho que 2 pessoas. 2 não, 3 tá dizendo aqui. Pronto. Uma carta.
So this place was no ordinary prison. And I doubt they'll have taken the creature with them when they fled.
É uma prisão, mas também um coliseu esse lugar. Um baú. Deixa eu ver o que tem aqui em cima. Tem mais inimigos? Vamos tentar explorar com calma. Você vai morrer, seu maldito. Aê! Mais uma carta.
Minimal loss of Waluda lives. And what happens when they run out of bearers? Even the Imperials take better care of their branded than that.
E a última carta.
They were feeding bearers to it. This is even worse than I'd feared. Nothing but a caching down here. Hopefully things are looking better upstairs.
Vamos lá, segundo andar.
See how Doris is getting on.
Começar por aqui. Falei um baú. Vemos aqui mais pelo baú mesmo. Aqui não tem nada. Vocês vão morrer. Aê! Deixa eu ver se tem mais alguma outra coisa aqui. Mas já encontrei a pessoa. É, tá certo.
No lock downstairs. But I did find out that this place was more than just a prison. Something far more sinister was happening here.
I know. I've been reading some of these documents and... it can't be true, can it? Bearers die every day in service of their masters, but this is so much worse. Pitting bearers against a wild beast armed with nothing but their wits? And all in order to bring about more death. And not just those who could fight, but the elderly, children even. And those who wouldn't or couldn't were disposed of. Whatever that means.
I'm afraid it means they were fed to the monstrosity they kept here.
Then we're too late. And I was a fool to bring you here.
Don't say that. Did you find anything else?
A key. But it doesn't fit any of the locks on this floor.
Perhaps it will fit one of the doors downstairs. There's a corridor I haven't searched yet. Finish up here, then come and find me when you're ready.
All right. I'll be there in a moment.
Beleza, já temos a chave. Já podemos abrir a porta. E acho que já estamos chegando na batalha mesmo. Que esse Coliseu não tá aqui à toa.
Let's see what we can find down here.
Aí tem essa entrada. Só antes de ir, eu quero dar uma olhada por aqui. Olha aí, um baú. Ambar.
Survivor. And she sounds close.
Um sobrevivente. Uma criança.
Who are you?
There's no need to be afraid. Are you alone? Are there any other survivors?
Some of the guards. They're still here. But something's wrong with them. Everyone else was eaten by the monster.
Of course there were.
Thank the Founder.
It was worth our coming. But I'd rather we didn't linger. Are you ready?
Ready when you are. You poor thing. He must have been terrified.
Did Chadwick send you?
What?
He fought the monster. Distracted it so I could run away. He must have sent you. He promised to free the others too. Where is he? He opened your cell, didn't he? He wouldn't be here otherwise.
Chadwick.
Was that?
Problemas.
Monster's back! Chadwick, help!
We have to get out of here.
Doris, keep the girl safe.
All right. You put that bearer-eating bastard in the ground.
Sem problemas. Olha aí,
Waiting for
o
me.
nosso monstro.
I can't let it live.
Se tiver hit, o hit vai querer ver essa batalha. Eu acho que até chega a lembrar Monster Hunter, a escala dessa batalha. E é uma caçada ele. Fera acusa. Ranquear? Eu acho que estamos à altura do desafio.
At least we'll wreak havoc if it ever leaves the prison.
Ele é tipo o Behemoth.
Let that happen. Nice try.
É o mesmo moveset do Behemoth.
This one. Get him. Over here. Get him. This one. Over here.
Leva. Meteoros?
Too slow. This one. Orgle, kill. This one. Get him. Sick him. This one. Over here.
Morre, cara. Cometa. droga. Aí, stag. Agora vai começar a levar. Morre. E a vida só derretendo. Vou deixar pelo menos a escolha com vocês, se vocês quiserem que eu finalize ele com o Zentetsuken. É só comentário aí, se vocês quiserem. Que aí farmar de novo não é problema. Mas só preciso que comentem aí se vocês querem que eu finalize ele com estilo. Cometa tá quase morto. Agora sim. Hora de dizer adeus, seu maldito. Pronto. Quer saber? Morre. É assim que se finaliza com estilo.
Finally.
Sid, are you hurt?
I'm fine. I think.
No.
What is it?
A diary. I gave it to Chadwick before we went our separate ways. He was...
Droga, infelizmente o Chadwick se foi.
Do you think that creature?
I'm sure he fought bravely to the last. The girl is safe thanks to him.
Chadwick. You fool.
Come on. We have to get her back to the hideaway. We don't want his sacrifice to have been in vain.
No. Of course not. I'll see that she's looked after from now on. It's the least I can do.
From what I hear, you've barely left the girl's side in days. I hope she's recovering from her ordeal.
She is. Slowly but surely. She's far tougher than she looks. I thank the flames we found her. If we hadn't...
I know. But we did. I'm sorry we weren't able to save Chadwick.
There's no need to apologize. Without your help, I would never have found out what happened to him. How he fought to the bitter end to save her. To save Haida Marie. That's the man I remember. The man I thought of as a brother.
I wish I could have met him. I'd like to hear more about your past. If you don't mind, that is.
Of course. You already met my former master. She trained Chadwick and I to do two things. Kill and obey. We were supposed to be sold to the highest bidder when the time came. But no bid was ever high enough to convince her to part with us. For years, we were her daggers in the shadows. But we could never quite shake our doubts about the things she made us do. And then, one day, we just couldn't do them anymore. So we escaped. But staying together was out of the question. They would have found us too easily. After so many years of training, the pull to serve was always strong. It scared me to think he might have taken another master, become a dagger in someone else's hand.
But even in captivity, the battles he fought were his own. And he died not as someone's tool, but as a hero.
Haida Marie is proof of that. Bearers can cast off their shackles. And the Cursebreakers will show them how. I'll fight until my dying breath to see it done. For Chadwick, and for all of us.
Thank you, Doris. We'll be counting on you.
É isso aí, mais uma missão cumprida. Aê, vamos ver quantas missões ainda tem. 1, 3, 4 missões. Deixa eu ver se não apareceu mais nenhuma fora. Não. Pelo menos já tô de boa se for pra resolver aqui. Vamos ver daqui, de olho no céu. É com as crianças.
Sid, you have to help us.
With what? You didn't take apart another of Mid's contraptions, did you?
No? Well, yes. But that's not what we want to talk to you about.
It's Miss Mididol. She's been acting strange. Very strange. She's barely ever around.
When she is, she acts like we aren't even there. Her head's in a crowd.
In the clouds.
That's what I said. In the clouds.
Well, she does have a lot on her mind. When did you last see her?
Not long ago. Ah, right after she got back from saving you from Stonear.
Then it's probably just about the Enterprise. It did take quite a battering on the way there and back.
You didn't break it, did you, Sid? You really should be more careful around Miss Mididol's inventions. Oh, don't listen to her. Even if you did break the Enterprise, you could put it back together, couldn't you?
But who's gonna put Miss Mididol back together? She seems really sad.
Vamos ver o que a gente pode ajudar a Mid.
Why don't I go and see if I can cheer her up?
You do that? For us? She's in her dungeon.
Don't scare him. It's not a real dungeon.
Thanks for the warning.
Aí, vamos ver a Mid. Tá na oficina dela.
Mid, if you have a...
That's it! I knew it! The answer was right here under my arse all along! If this doesn't steer to the skies, nothing will.
To the skies? You aren't trying to give the Enterprise wings, are you?
What else would I be doing?
The children seem to think you're avoiding them. They're worried about you. Is this really so important that you need to shut yourself away from everyone?
The Enterprise is already the fastest ship in the realm, and that's with the sea beneath her. But what if she weren't bound to the waves? What if she weren't bound to anything at all? It's not fair. The gods get the skies all to themselves, so I'm gonna do something about it. The Fallen had their chance, but they relied too much on magic. And see where that got them? But not me. I've discovered how to do it without. Well, almost. First I need to make a prototype.
And is that a one-woman job?
Are you volunteering? I'll have you know the Enterprise is my baby. But if her godfather's offering to lend a hand, I'd be happy to take it. First, I'll need oil, and not just some old drippings from Miss Molly's spits in the Tub and Crown. Refined stuff, like they make in Ordil. Then I'll need some bone, or shell. Light, strong, preferably no longer attached to the beast it belongs to.
If it's beast bones you're after, I'm sure the curse breakers will know where you might find some.
No, they'll know where you might find some. You're the one who offered to help, remember?
I should speak with one of the curse breakers before I set off for Old Hill. See if I can't find this bone while I'm there as well.
Rompe maldições. Vamos pegar a ideia com ele.
Has Midadol mentioned a new project?
Acho que é o tipo de missão que vai ser resolvida aqui. Ah, já é aqui.
All right, Sid. Come to buy us around, have you?
Only if you earn it. Mid needs a piece of light but durable bone for her next project. You've encountered your share of beasts on your travels across the realm. Any ideas?
Most bones are the same. Whack 'em hard enough and they'll break. If it's durability you're looking for, shell will serve you better. You know what an adamantus is?
I do. And I know to give them a wide berth. Will any old adamantus do?
Well, with shells, the older the harder. There's a rumour of an ancient adamantus down in Carava, near Old Bidza. Or what's left of the village anyway. But don't expect to make quick work of the bastard. There's a reason it's lived as long as it has.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Óleo de Aldil e derrote uma tartaruga em Corava. Já temos trabalho a fazer. Um lugar tá aqui e outro tá aqui. Beleza. Aqui é de boa. Mas agora eu vou ter que farmar. Vamos lá. Level 4, eu quero level 5. Aê! Aqui, ó. Pelo menos valeu a pena ter derrotado eles. E é isso aí, galera. Um sábado à noite vai assistindo. Falta um.
What happened here? It's a miracle there was any left at all.
Aonde? Aonde? Acho que deve estar por aqui. Aonde? Não deve estar tão escondido assim. Aqui, ó. Beleza. Tartaruga desértica. Vamos arranjar mais briga. O lugar mais próximo é aqui mesmo. Pra cá? É, pra cá.
Good girl. Fly, Ambrosia. No holding back.
Sofá de passagem.
We are again. Carava. If you were a tortoise, Togo, where would you hide?
A tartaruga deve estar aqui. Deixa eu ver o que tem por aqui que a gente não liberou. Já um outro caminho mais aberto. A foice. Já liga com aqui. Estamos tendo o mapa mais liberado. Isso é ótimo. Vamos lá, já estou voltando.
That'll do, girl.
Tá, deixa eu ver aonde. Ah, aqui a tartaruga.
Looks like we found him. Get him! Over here! This one! Get him! Sick him! Attack! Sick him! Go to him! Attack! Go to him! Get him!
Vamos lá, tartaruga.
Over here! Get him! Over here! Go to him! Sick him! This one! Attack! Over here! Attack! Go to him!
Quase no stag.
Get him! Sick him! Get him! This one! Go to him!
Aê, vai levar.
Over here!
Morre. A vida só derrete com isso.
This one! Go to him!
Levei. Mas eu entendi o que que houve, mas quebramos a defesa.
Get him! Attack! Sick him! Titan! Attack!
quase morto, mas acho que não vou finalizar ele com estilo, não. Pronto. Casco. Vou aproveitar que estou aqui. Melhorar as habilidades base. 800. Ainda tem masterizar com 1000. Deixa eu ver aqui, tá ok? Salve aí, Patão. É, tá certo. Acho que resta masterizar isso daqui. Vamos lá, de volta a falar com a mid. Já pelo menos estamos com as habilidades base mais fortes. Qualquer coisa, Patão, só usar a exclamação eu que você vai divulgar automaticamente seu canal. Mas que bom, eu sei que você vai voltar. Esse Final Fantasy eu tô perto de zerar, ô Patão. Eu já zerei ele em off e agora eu tô perto de zerar ele aqui no canal. Só tô resolvendo as últimas secundárias. E aí, próximo episódio mesmo da história vai ser batalha final. E eu já prevejo pelo menos uma live de 3 ou 4 horas. Que a batalha é épica até dizer chega.
Mid, tell me this is all you need.
You make it sound like I asked you to save the world or something.
Tell me this is all you need.
It's most of what I need. After you left, I went over the figures again, and I realized I'd forgotten a 1 and a 0. And a cogwheel. Just a tiny one. Though, that's the problem. Gears that small are a bastard to make, and I may have lost the one Blackthorn spent a fortnight toiling over.
Wait. The children. When they took apart your scales, there was a tiny brass gear.
Eu te entendo, Patão. Não é todo mundo talvez que gosta de uma batalha que dure muito tempo também. Mas no meu caso, não é muito uma crítica isso daí. Mas é um ponto que eu gostei do jogo.
I don't want to know. I'll keep working on the model. You go and find that cog.
É isso aí, vamos falar com as crianças. Acho que cuida aí, missão cumprida. Salve aí, raposo. Vamos lá entregar a missão para as crianças.
Sid, is Mid still hiding from us?
She wasn't hiding. She's fine. She's just busy working on her next project.
A new invention? What is it? What is it? Is it an airship? I bet it's an airship!
Do you think she'll let us help?
That just so happens to be why I'm here. She needs something special, something only you three can provide. A brass gear. A tiny one. One that might fit on, say, a set of scales?
Oh, the one you forgot! We remember!
We saved it, just in case. It's in the bag of bits.
Since your lesson, we've been disassembling, then reassembling everything we can find. All the pieces that are left over.
É isso aí, galera. Mais algumas missões já devemos acabar. Quero só deixar a principal sobrando. E aí depois eu vou ver se faço as caçadas, que são importantes também, mas eu vou entregar em vídeos caçadas.
Is that all? Just the gear? We have more parts if Mid needs them.
That's all for now. But I'll let Mid know about your hoard. Just in case.
Thanks, Sid.
Beleza, vamos falar com a Mid.
Did they have it?
They did. And they kept it somewhere nice and safe. Will it work?
Will it work? It's perfect! You're a genius, Clive.
What exactly are you going to use it for?
Only the most important job of all. The wings aren't going to move on their own. But with the right cog in the right place... well, you just wait and see. That should do it. Here goes nothing.
Funciona esse modelo?
Titan's tits.
It wasn't supposed to fly, was it?
Of course it was supposed to fly. Wouldn't be much of an airship if it didn't. Honestly, these bloody engines are driving me mad. I was so sure this would be the day she soared. The Mithril engine was made to make dreams come true. But maybe this is one dream the world's better off without. Show folk how to take flying. It won't be long till they're raining death down on each other. People will lose their homes, children, their mums and their dads. Like I lost mine.
I'm sorry.
So am I, Clive. So am I. Sorry that I have to choose. Do I follow my head, or do I follow my heart?
Good question. The first time I stood on the deck of your ship, felt the wind in my hair. It was like I was flying. But imagine how it would feel to actually do it.
My dad always said there were two ways of living life. Chasing a dream or shuffling to your grave. And he were right. Right about a lot of things. Not that I like to admit it.
Battlefield eu não jogo muito, não.
Especially in a world like this. Right. When this is over, I'm gonna take all my Mithril engines to Zemeckis and sling them over the edge. I won't have my dream end up turning into someone else's nightmare.
But all that hard work...
All that hard work will not be used for war, Jamie. But it ain't like it'll be gone. Tell me, Clive, have you ever been on a treasure hunt?
Not since Joshua and I were boys. Why do you ask?
Because I'm gonna bury the engine schematics and leave behind a little riddle telling people where to find them. A really hard one, so that only the most dedicated dreamers will ever be able to work it out. Ooh, I can picture it now. Some daft general squinting at the words with a gormless expression on his mug. Like that one, yeah.
Right.
Of course, if I'm putting this engine at the end of a treasure hunt, I'll still need to make it a treasure worth hunting for. Won't be much of a prize if it couldn't even make a toy boat fly after all. My dad always said, dream big. But it ain't the size of a dream that's important, is it, Clive? Only that it's a good one. And I reckon I've got a fair few good uns left in me.
I'm sure you do.
É isso aí, mais uma missão cumprida. Se bobear, vamos até acabar nos upando com isso. E a aeronave que ela fez agora vai estar nos nossos aposentos. É isso aí, missão dela resolvida. Vamos ver para onde podemos ir. Temos 3 missões aqui. Penas do passado e futuro. Vamos ver essa 3 é demais, depois a gente faz essa. E aí finaliza com essa. E daí se não aparecer mais nenhuma. Mas isso aí, estamos indo bem. Deixa eu ver, liberou algum renome? Não. Deixa eu ver. 3 é demais, tá certo. Bem, eu quando zerei, eu levei por volta de umas 60 horas.
Hadn't intended for you to get involved, but such are the times we live in, huh? I would have done the same for anyone else. You're far too modest, Clive. You'd make a terrible nobleman. But tell me, is the realm truly in as dire a state as Rutherford suggests? From what little I saw, you were right to be worried. I suppose I should have expected the worst. But I was rather hoping the great and good of the realm might have things a little more under control. Alas, it seems that firm leadership is in short supply these days, and without it, the people are bound to lose their way. We must move quickly. But where do we start? True, the challenges that face us are many, but in my estimation, there are 2 key areas to be addressed before any other. The realm's armies, and her larders. As you've seen firsthand, it's every man and woman for themselves out there. Certain cities have banded together to try and maintain some semblance of order, yes, but such cases are few and far between. And yet, the only remedy for the chaos that faces us is unity. A unity that transcends even the borders laid down by our ancestors. In short, if Storm does not stand together, she will fall apart. But how would one even begin to unite the realm? The armies, my boy. As I told you already, we begin by restoring order among the ranks of those sworn to maintain it. Sadly, I doubt I could convince even the lowliest gaggle of privates to dig a latrine together. But I do know someone the High Commanders have been known to listen to on occasion. Field Marshal Eugen Havel. I thought he was retired. He was, until an Akashic army tore through Randalar and killed most of the rank and file. There is no man alive more capable. Literally. And as luck would have it, I've already spoken with him on the matter. Of course you have. And he's agreed to help. On one condition. That he first speaks with you personally. Havel has always been a man of frustratingly rigid principle, and he has certain qualms about clasping arms with, well, with an outlaw. I extolled your many virtues as best I could, of course, but the old goat was adamant that he be allowed to appraise you in person. You don't mind, do you, my boy?
Vamos lá ajudar ele.
Of course not. As long as chaos reigns, we will never build a better world. I'll do whatever it takes. And if the Field Marshal wishes to speak with me in person, then so be it. That's the spirit. I'll leave for Randalar at once. Would you send a Stolas? Of course. Rutherford is already in the Dalmekian capital. I'll have him tell Havel to expect you forthwith. Excellent. Thank you, Uncle. No, thank you, Clive.
Beleza. Ravel, vamos encontrar ele. Aqui. Nossa, bem aqui.
Do you see that too?
Papa?
What is it? Please, just make it stop.
I'm scared.
Agora sim vai dar pra chamar o Chocobo. Aí vamos chegar lá bem rápido.
Good girl. Fly, Ambrosia.
Vambora. Ô, droga. Até que pediu.
Too slow. Get him.
Ai, daí que ferra. Ele vai e desiste. Pô, queria só seguir meu caminho. Ele só vem aqui pra me atrapalhar.
Time to fight.
Inimigos?
That can't be Rutherford, can it?
Acho que não. É, inimigos.
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you! If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you shall have!
Allow me.
I don't need your... Please, Field Marshal. Oblige him.
This won't take long.
You're right. It won't. Men, finish him.
Você é o primeiro. Pronto, já foi. Você é o último. Pronto, vamos lá. Morre todo mundo. Aê! Não foi muito difícil.
A little longer than I'd have liked. Field Marshal Havel, I presume. Are either of you injured? No, my lord. You arrived just as our escort turned on us.
Fucking traitors. I'd heard reports of soldiers in the outlying regions abandoning the oaths they swore. But I hadn't thought the corruption had reached so close to the heart of the Republic. It's a fucking disgrace. Your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to warn me, of course. My lord Marquis. Or is Sid the Outlaw more to your liking?
Call me what you want. It doesn't change who I am, or the urgency of the message I bring. My uncle has a plan to right the realm, and he needs your help to see it through.
Before I agree to anything, I'd have you answer one question. What do you stand to gain from all this?
I won't deny that I might benefit from further chaos. But I seek a new beginning for all of us. And while the choices I've made may not always have been the right ones, I know I made them for the right
É isso aí, antes com isso daí já deve. Talvez já cumprir a missão. Agora que derrotamos esses caras.
Should have been our decision all along. Now we have a chance to put things right. But in order to take it, we must stand together. Even if it be beside those with whom we don't see eye to eye.
Certainly not the words I expected from an outlaw. But perhaps your uncle was right. You are no ordinary outlaw. I'll never hear the end of this. All right. I'll start by ordering my most trusted guard to bring the Dalmekian fringes under control. Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see if I can't convince them to try and restore order in their own territory.
Thank you, Field Marshal.
But they are not the only ones we will need to convince.
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals. But those they answer to require a different kind of persuasion. And when it comes to honeyed words, well, we will need an envoy. One who can court even the most stubborn of statesmen. You, perhaps.
I'm flattered. But I'm no diplomat either. And I have other problems to attend to. What we need is a skilled arbitrator. And I may know just the person.
Is that so? And would he happen to be an outlaw too?
Of a different kind, perhaps.
Well, beggars can't be choosers. I suppose we'll all have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it through this. Very well. Send your man to me right away.
I shall.
My Lord Marquis. Your Lord Uncle bade me escort the Field Marshal to his manor in Port Isolde.
And I will see that my associate joins you there.
Very good, my lord.
An envoy. I'm not sure I'm the man to talk anyone round. I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. No. This is a job for someone with experience. Someone like Quentin. I hope I can convince him at least.
Vamos lá, falar com o Quentin. Não é por aqui. É aqui. Chegamos.
Quentin, I have a proposal for you.
Salve aí, Thiago.
Do you now? Something tells me you'll be asking more of me than a cask of Gotand gold. Go on then. Propose. You'd have me convince the chiefs and chamberlains of the realm that they should simply swallow their pride and do the one thing that has proved impossible for thousands of years. Was there anything else? Perhaps I can fetch you a meat pie as well.
I know it's a lot to ask, but I can think of none better suited to the role.
And you'd have me give up what little I have left to do it. I told you, Clive. The people of Lostwing are my family, and I cannot abandon them. You'll have to find someone else.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So am I.
And why might that be?
What he's asking. How's it any different to what you've done so far? They want you to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. That's what you do best. If it's the vineyard you're worried about, we'll see that the grapes are picked and the tons filled. You know we will.
It's not that.
Then what is it? You said yourself we're family. Don't you trust us?
You know that's not what I'm...
Then what are you saying? That only we are worth saving? Why turn your back on everyone else? You convinced us we could build new lives for ourselves.
Já tô perto de acabar em secundária, Thiago. Aí depois vai só faltar fazer as caçadas, que são importantes também. Mas as caçadas eu vou fazer em vídeo.
Might fall somewhat flat by comparison.
So you'll join us?
Where do you need me?
Field Marshal Havel will want to speak with you in person. He's currently in Port Isolde. I can arrange for a party of Cursebreakers to accompany you there.
That would be very much appreciated. I hear the roads are far from safe these days.
Hopefully not for long. My uncle will want to know that his plan is taking shape.
Vamos voltar pro esconderijo. E aí já devemos acabar cumprindo a missão.
Uncle, I bring good news. The Field Marshal has agreed to your plan.
Ha! Of course he has. I didn't doubt you for a moment, dear boy.
Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Port Isolde as we speak. They will await your return there. As will one other.
One other? Who, exactly?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he might not be as successful in convincing those with political power. He asked if I might have a solution.
Posso dar uma sugestão, Thiago, de um jogo bom? Já que você gostou do Hi-Fi Rush e não sei se você zerou Devil May Cry 5, mas uma boa pedida, se eu fosse recomendar, Devil May Cry 3. É uma boa.
Just the thing we need to put these rotten politicos in their places. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier, eh?
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quentin can solve our problem with the armies, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain shortages.
Oh, don't you worry, my boy. The 7 high houses will be seeing to that. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little persuasion, but luckily I had some unexpected help.
From who?
Joga o 3 então, você encontra na HD Collection. Vem 3 jogos na HD Collection, que é o 1, 2 e 3. O 1 ele é legal, mas ele é bem difícil. O 2 ele é bem ruim. E o 3 ele é bom.
And when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they as good as tripped over themselves in the rush to follow suit.
I'm happy to hear it.
Now, I must be getting back to the manor. Join us there at your earliest convenience, would you?
Of course, Uncle.
And how, pray tell, will we get that grain to the capital if the roads are still overrun with akashic?
You'll find another bloody road. I only have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an...
Legal, eles estão na mansão, Rothschild.
have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without any food to keep them going, they'll be dead even before you've sent them on your fool's errand.
If I may, gentlemen, perhaps I might suggest an alternative approach. Though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from here to Randalar, awaiting a safe haven. Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed, ferry the displaced back to the countryside to work the fallow fields. But I'm sure that you wish to continue your discussion. Forgive the interruption. Two such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of me. Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond between you.
Us? Friends?
I can't stand the man.
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
Bem, antes que daí já devemos acabar cumprindo a missão.
Criminal? How dare you? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this fine, upstanding young gentleman.
Upstanding? He calls himself Sid the Bloody Outlaw.
Once more onto the breach.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation, nor to claim the thrones of those that already exist. We wish simply to bring stability to the realm that mankind might weather the current storm. And to do that, we must convince those in power, the generals, the statesmen, the nobles, that our cause is just. There will be disagreements, yes, and I imagine some resistance, much resistance. But we cannot let that deter us. If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves, then I am confident they will follow. The fate of the world lies in my nephew's hands, but the well-being of her people lies in ours. And we must not squander the chance that Clive has given us.
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on to the signing of the Accord. For what great moment in history hasn't been accompanied by a little ceremony? Citizens of Valisthea, I present to you the Triunity. Rutherford, Mike Will. Well, my boy, the stage is set.
That it is.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust in the talents of your supporting cast. We shall play our parts to the best of our abilities, that you might have the opportunity to shine. The realm needs its Sir Crandall, and there is no better Crandall than you, Clive. I want you to keep this signed accord as proof of our faith in you.
I will. Thank you, Uncle.
Maravilha, missão cumprida. Pacto da Tríade, maravilha. Agora resta 2 missões. Nada ainda de renome, mas dá pra fazer a outra missão. E aí a do Joshua eu deixo no final. É com o Gav. Vamos falar com ele.
You alright?
Something troubling you?
No more than usual. It's just... Etta's baby will be coming soon, and I wanted to make something for it.
I'm sure she'd like that.
Back in the north, families would always make gifts when a bairn was on the way. Yeah, let the little tykes know they were welcome in their new homes, like.
So, what's the problem?
Well, the problem is that Etta's due any day now. And I don't know if I'll be ready in time.
Is there anything I can do to help?
You know, there just might be.
All right then. What exactly are we making?
A good luck charm. But not just any good luck charm.
Not just any.
No. One made from the feather of a silver chocobo. There's naught lucky in all the realm, or so we used to say back home anyway. Thing is, they're hard to come by. Had Otto and Karen check with their suppliers, but nothing. I'd try and track one down myself, only...
Only the big day is fast approaching. And that's all you need, a feather.
That or the bird whose horse it's attached to, aye. I was gonna start by asking around with traveling traders plying the northern borders.
Well, there's no shortage of those passing through Martha's. I think I might make that my first port of call. I'll let you know if I find anything.
You're a good friend, Clive. I won't forget this.
Beleza, vamos lá falar com a Marta. A Marta que pode nos ajudar nisso. Já tem um aqui.
Excuse me. I'm looking for something.
Oh, well, then I'm your man.
A silver chocobo feather.
Oh, or maybe not. Though you're not the first to mention the bird around here. There was a man stopped by the rest not long ago claiming he was attacked by a silver chocobo near some gutted hovel not far from Eastpool. Most took him for a braggart and a liar, but who knows? Perhaps there was some truth to his tale.
We'll see. Thank you.
Beleza, falta mais dois.
Just because the heavens have gone to reckon with me, don't
It doesn't still... Does it?
Olha aqui mais um.
How do, traveller? You've the look of a man who could do with a new whetstone. Or perhaps a bawdy etching of the Vicerine.
Maybe another time. I'm looking for a silver chocobo feather.
If that's the case, rumours are all you're likely to find. No one has seen a silver chocobo for years. Word is they were all hunted for their feathers. Some northern nonsense about bringing good luck. Didn't bring them much, nor their bows. If any are still out there, I reckon they'll be doing their damnedest not to be discovered.
You're probably right. Thank you anyway.
Beleza, vamos ver se tem mais alguém. Onde mais deve ter?
Look, Daddy.
Whoever's idea it was to take those bearers away to Eastport has my thanks. Who else would it have been but Martha? She always puts the good of the town first, that one.
Vamos ter que andar nesse lugar todo. Ah, aqui, ó.
Can I help you with something?
You wouldn't happen to sell silver chocobo feathers, would you?
I deal in fruit, not fancies. But if it's fancies you're after, I suggest you try Rhiannon's ride.
Was a silver chocobo seen there?
Oh, yes. If you believe the ravings of a madman.
It wouldn't be the first time. A silver chocobo sighted in the hills near Rhiannon's Ride. It sounds almost too good.
Não é muito longe daqui, dá pra vir daqui. Não. Agora sim, vamos chegar lá bem rápido.
Good girl. Fly, Ambrosia.
Bem ali no canto, então não tem erro. E é isso aí, galera. Um salve a todo mundo que estiver assistindo. Quem tiver, não esquece de deixar aquele like lá e compartilhar para os para dar aquela força e se inscrever se não for inscrito. Acho que é aquela casa. Apenas chocobo. Apenas não patas.
More tracks. And these look fresh. The chocobo was here. And recently. Perhaps it still is.
Dentro dessa casa.
I don't hear anything.
Olha aí a pena.
Well, I'll be damned. It's all right. I'm not going to hurt you. Just borrowing a feather for my friend. Thank you. Let's get this back to Gav before they change their minds.
Beleza, conseguimos. Deixa eu só ver se tem alguma coisa lá em cima. Aí a gente já sai daqui. Aí. Vamos lá. Entregar o Gav.
It was no
Tá aí, Gav.
trouble at all.
Clive, you're back. How'd you get on? Any luck?
Any luck, you say?
Crystal's crack. Is this what I think it is? Where in the hell did you find it?
It's a long story.
Right there on the road to Eastpool. Who'd have thought it?
Everything up there's been abandoned for years. The empty cabin made for the perfect shelter. Though I fear my presence may have forced the poor creatures to look elsewhere.
Don't blame yourself, Clive. The Blight's right on Eastpool's doorstep. They'd have had to move on before long, even if you hadn't have turned up. They'll find a new home. Trust me. After all, that's what us endangered animals do. Anyway, what matters is, you managed to nick us one of their quills before they could run off. And now all that's left is to fix it to the carving.
I didn't know you could carve.
Reckon there's a lot you don't know about me. Like the fact I'm as good with a whittling knife as I am with a sword. And that bone Ember gave me's a dream to work with. What did you say it was from again? An Avis?
But it weren't your Avis, Sid. I slew one of my own at last.
So all those long nights in the pit finally bore fruit. I'm proud of you, Ember.
Don't speak too soon. I ain't done my trial yet.
There we go.
Legal.
What do you think?
I think if you ever hang up your scouting cap, you'll be able to make an honest living.
Oh, will I? I should go and see if Ed is awake.
Give it my best.
You can give it to yourself. Come on.
Vamos lá falar com a Eda. Não é muito longe.
Ah, me lords.
How are you feeling?
Well, thank you. Is something wrong?
Wrong? No, nothing like that. What it is...
Go on, please. It's beautiful. Did you make it?
We did, aye. It's from all of us here at the Hideaway. Your new family, like. It's a good luck charm. We may come up north when a band's on the way. I mean a baby. To let him know that they're part of the family too. Oh, I hope you like it.
I don't know what to say. I thank you, my lords, for everything.
If there's anything you need, just let us know.
I will.
Clive, fancy a swift off? I'm thirsty.
I could be convinced.
É isso aí, missão cumprida com o Gav. Acho que tudo daí já tá resolvido. Agora falta o Joshua pra ajudar na missão dele.
Don't you think you've had enough?
Oh, we're celebrating. I'm gonna be a father.
I think Edda might have something to say about that.
You know what I mean. Bit of light in these dark times. Wasn't long after me 10th name day. My mum told us she was with child again. I was over the fucking moon. I was looking forward to having a little one to lord it over. What with me being the runt of the litter. Thought I'd finally have a chance to prove to the world that I could be a big brother. Imperials came the day she went into labour. Had myself a baby sister. And then I didn't. Me whole family gone in a blink, while I hid in the cellar like the spineless little arsehole I was. Great brother I turned out to be. I'll never be a leader. And I'll never be a hero. I'm just a daft little dog who comes running when his master calls. I'll never be like you, or Sid, or Jill, or even Torgal.
Have you finished?
Maybe.
Do you know why you're our best scout? Because you don't need anyone to hold your hand. Without your resourcefulness, your courage, your determination, I don't know where we'd be. Maybe hanging off a cliff like,
That was only the once.
Exactly. You learned from it. And here you are after Founder knows how many missions, stronger for everyone. And let's not forget Rosalith. Who was it who freed me from the dungeon? Who was it who ran to Jill's rescue?
That would be me.
Because you're our brother, Gav. My brother.
Your brother.
Which means that when the time comes,
I get your room. And your sword. I may have had one too many.
you may have had 10 too many.
I said I was thirsty. Better get back to work anyway. After I walk this off. Clive?
What is it?
Thanks for, you know.
I know.
Mais uma missão cumprida. Hidromel do Inverno. Mais uma lembrança para os aposentos do Clive. Agora o Joshua. Não tem mais nenhuma? Mais nenhuma.
Clive. Joshua, what's wrong? And don't say nothing.
It's not nothing. I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father's will, or something akin to it.
His will? How? Where?
In the crypt beneath Rosalith Castle. After Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what relics of the Duchy yet remained. And in the process of doing so, they found a letter from Father.
I'm surprised anything survived down there.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience. I have been meaning to go, but would you join me?
Of course.
Vamos lá, né?
I want to know what's in that letter as much as you do.
Very well. I am ready to leave when you are.
Beleza. Sírio. Pra cá. Pronto, acho que agora sim já podemos falar com ele.
Your Grace, my lord, I trust your journey was not overly onerous.
Cyril, you found a letter from Father?
Yes, I have it here. If you would do us the honor, my lord.
An inheritance.
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive shortly before his passing.
The day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans he spoke of?
His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer of the Burning Quill, who entrusted them in turn to me. The complete emancipation of bearers is their stated aim. But your father's dream did not end there. His Grace also spoke of building hospices to care for those stricken by the curse, and the founding of a new university to further the development of non-magical technologies. With the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins, Archduke Elwyn saw this as the only means of securing Rosaria's survival.
He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. To see centuries of common wisdom overturned. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his lifetime.
But he thought it achievable nonetheless. Had he not, he would never have written this message. Nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most faithful aides, those who would have stood with you, shielded you from the machinations of the less benevolent personages at court.
It's a pity only they are still with us.
'Tis true that those most loyal to your father were the first to suffer the Duchess's wrath. But one at least remains, and she has come bearing gifts.
What do you mean?
Mayhap it is better that she explain, my lord. After all, the duties entrusted to me by my predecessor extended only to recovering His Grace's will and arranging a meeting with the one who might execute it, or a part of it at least.
And where is this woman?
She awaits you in the archive, Your Grace.
Thank you, Cyril. Shall we then?
Bem, já temos gente para falar aqui, que é o Elwyn.
My lord, your grace. I hardly recognize you. I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield, loyal servant to the Phoenix and his shields. Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery of a gift. I only hope you can forgive my tardiness in bringing it to you.
Lift up your head, Lady Goditha. You have our gratitude for your service to our house and to our father.
I merely did my duty, as any proud Rosarian would.
My lady, perhaps you could explain a little more? What exactly is the gift you bring?
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom for the children of House Rosfield to be presented with certain keepsakes upon their coming of age.
Indeed it has. Our father often spoke of the day when our turn would come.
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. Matching armbands for you both. Alas, he did not live. Indeed, he was taken from us even before they could be completed. He had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be finished himself, but it was not to be. And his gifts remain incomplete.
I see.
It saddens me to bring them before you, as they are. It was your father's wish that you be presented with the finished articles, not these, works in progress. But with his grace long since gone, and the stone left unclaimed, I had little choice. You are grown men now, and his house is yours. And while I would not presume to insist upon your claiming the Heartstone in his stead, I know that nothing would have pleased him more than for you to do so.
Thank you, Lady Goditha.
What say you, Clive?
What else? Of course, my lady. May our father's will be done.
Oh, I am much obliged.
Do you know where we might find this Heartstone, my lady?
I do. Though it may be a matter of a good deal more than simply happening upon it. It is found in the bellies of elder griffins, you see. We do at least know where to find one. A certain specimen has made its nest in Titan's Wake, not far from here.
A certain specimen?
You are most perceptive, Your Grace. In answer to your unspoken question, yes. In fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. I have been tracking its movements since you were but a boy. Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rosfield, it would surely make your father proud.
What say you, Joshua?
What else?
Já temos inimigos para enfrentar. Não é muito longe daqui. Aí, agora sim, dá pra seguir aqui. Eu imagino que deve ser uma caçada. Esse lugar que a gente vai acabar parando. Porque eu lembro que tem um lugar aqui que leva a uma caçada mesmo. Posso estar enganado, mas vamos ver quando chegar lá.
For House Rosfield.
Não é caçada em si, mas é um grifo. Vamos lá, grifo. Você não é grande coisa, não. Vai sofrer. Já tá no semi-stag. Morre! Queima! Ficou puto. Quase lá. Quase no stagger de novo. Aê! Pronto. Quase lá, seu pando.
Is this the Heartstone?
I expect Lady Godotha will know.
Já podemos voltar. Pronto, tá aí a pedra que você pediu.
You were safe. The griffin is slain then?
And the Heartstone claimed.
Yes. This radiant luster, like frozen flame, is just as your father described it. Thank you, my lord. Your grace. Your father would be so proud.
Lady Godotha, the lapidary is ready.
Thank you, Cyril. I will be with him shortly. If you would excuse me, I shall have the stone cut and set forthwith. The armbands are complete. Pray, take them. They are yours, after all. Heartstone is harder and more enduring than garnet, or even ruby. It symbolizes unwavering will and devotion. And the graven vines encircling the stone represent the unbreakable bonds between you.
It's a message. Father knew we had enemies both inside and outside the duchy. Enemies who would thwart his vision. Only with unwavering devotion would it ever be realized.
And only if we stood together, as Phoenix and Shield, as brothers in arms. Only then might those enemies be overcome.
Indeed. His Grace knew the enormity of the task he would entrust to you, his heirs. But this was more than just a message. It was a promise. That he would always be with you.
Thank you, Lady Godotha, for remaining the steadfast custodian of our father's will.
Forgive me, my lady, but there is something I don't quite understand. The Undying told me that after Father died, Mother claimed all of the ducal treasures for her own. Even if the armbands were incomplete, she would surely not have overlooked them. So, how were you able to keep them from her?
Because I was the keeper of the vault. Though I was but a lowly servant, your father spoke to me of his intentions for the bands, of the deep love he had for both of you, and his hopes for your future. In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewelry be sent away from the castle. It was then that I knew she meant to betray us. I tried to warn your father, but it was too late. When word of the fire reached Rosalith, I knew my time was short. So I took up the armbands and I fled into the night.
And thank the Founder you did.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. Not knowing what else to do, I followed the Griffin, thinking I might claim the Heartstone on its passing. And so my pursuit continued, until Lord Cyril appeared before me. He informed me that His Grace's will had been recovered, and that his sons were alive and well.
Lady Godotha, on behalf of my father and all the people of Rosaria, I thank you for your loyal service.
As do I.
Thank you, my lord. Your Grace, for coming back to us, for giving my service meaning.
Maravilha.
The bands suit you well.
Por daí já devemos encerrar a missão. Não sei se vai aparecer mais alguma, mas se aparecer a gente faz, mas acredito que resolvendo isso já deve resolver quase tudo, eu imagino.
If you would permit me to play my part a little longer, might I suggest that you make your way to your father's memorial atop Hawk's Cry Cliff? Let him see that you have received his blessing, and that his vision lives on in you.
I suppose it would be churlish not to. What do you say, Clive? Shall we pay Father a visit?
I think we should. I was hoping to be able to offer him my thanks before we left for Origin.
Your father's helm is enshrined there. It has been since the day we recovered it from Phoenix Gate. I prithee claim it, for it too is a part of your inheritance, and I do not doubt that your father would prefer it in your hands than perched upon some lonely rock.
Thank you, Cyril. Come on, Clive. He's waiting.
Memorial do Arquiduque. Pra cá. Ó, não é muito longe. Mas é isso aí, acho que essa daí vai ser a missão que vai encerrar mesmo. Porque depois de daí não tem acho que mais nenhuma secundária, imagino.
Unwavering will and an unbreakable bond. Do you really think we're strong enough?
Save the world? Of course. We've overcome Father's political enemies. That I'm less certain. Especially knowing what we know now. What Mother was truly capable of. Perhaps these bands would have helped.
Pouco mais pra cá.
He was with us. Would have made all the difference.
It's just back there.
Chegamos.
Father always fought for what he believed was right. It wasn't until that night at Phoenix Gate that I realized I had never fought for anything. I always had someone else to do the fighting for me.
No matter how fate conspired against him, he never lost heart, never looked back, never stopped fighting. To me, he was the greatest of men. And I've been trying to live up to his ideals ever since.
We all have, Clive. We all have. And we'll keep trying. Because that's what he would have wanted.
What he would have done himself. Even if it meant standing against the very gods in the heavens.
I shall be borrowing this, Father, if I may. That you might watch over us as we follow in your footsteps.
We won't lay you down.
Onward then?
Onward. To the end.
And to a new beginning.
É isso aí, missão cumprida. Upamos. Level 46. Elmo de batalha. É isso aí. Deixa eu ver se vai aparecer mais alguma secundária. Acho que não. Agora o... Ah, já apareceu, como imaginava. Dessa vez é uma carta. Vamos lá. Estamos aqui para isso mesmo. Acredito que a carta deve trazer, não sei, a possível última missão. Preocupação com a Jill. Vamos lá.
If Joshua was worried about Jill, I should go and speak with him.
Vamos lá falar com o Joshua.
Joshua, I read your message. You're right. Jill is different. I don't think I'd realized how different, but since we returned from Drake's spine, I've felt it more and more.
I suppose it's not hard to imagine why.
She doesn't think she belongs anymore.
And that's why we need to remind her she is still one of us. To let her know that we still need her, now more than ever. That you still need her. But how to do that? When last we were truly close, we were but children.
Of course. Do you remember the time we accompanied Father on his annual tour of the Duchy? And Jill and I broke from the procession to ride up Man's Hill.
To see the snow daisies, I remember. It was the first time Father had allowed us to join him. And when he realized you were missing, he had the entire retinue down to the pot boys combing the countryside.
In the rain. A thunderstorm forced us to take refuge in a grove of oaks before we'd even made it halfway there. It was the Lord Commander who finally found us, and needless to say, he was none too pleased.
Then it seems you and Jill have unfinished business. What do you say?
Man's Hill. It's not that far.
Oh, true. Though I suspect it is also much changed. Little in southern Rosaria remains as it was when we were children.
You're saying I should go and scout the area for bandits?
I'm saying we should first go and see if there are actually still any snow daisies left. What would you do without me, Clive?
Colina de Man. Vamos lá. É aqui. Mais uma área que vamos acabar liberando. Acho que aqui dá pra ir a pé. Chegamos.
This is the place, but
I'm sorry, Clive.
Has nowhere been spared. What do we do now?
we keep looking. Man's Hill cannot be the only place where snow daisies grow.
Perhaps, but it's the only place I know of. Knew of.
Then why not ask someone who might know of another?
Someone at the backyard? To the hideaway, then.
Esconderijo. Viemos aqui, acho que mais pra liberar isso, mas vamos voltar pro esconderijo.
Let's hope one.
Quintal. Ah, pra lá.
Knows where to find snow daisies.
Vamos lá, não é muito longe.
Say what you will, Lady Karen has seen us.
Pronto.
What brings you down from the heavens, Sid?
I need your advice. Joshua and I are looking for a place where snow daisies grow. Preferably in abundance.
Snow daisies. Then you'll want somewhere not too hot and not too cold. And where the winds are strong enough to carry the seeds. I reckon Man's Hill would be a good place to start. There in the Royal Meadows, perhaps? Both have similar climbs and the right elevation. If the Blight hasn't claimed them yet.
Right. Thank you.
Did you learn where we might find our flowers?
The gardener here mentioned the Royal Meadows in Sambrak.
Ah, the fields beyond Northreach. Well, if that's the case, then Yote was right. I recalled that she kept the record of our travels, you see. So I asked her if she'd perhaps noted anywhere that snow daisies grew, and she mentioned Oilerfeist Bay.
Whose shores border the meadows. Off we go then.
Vamos lá, Rincão Setentrional então. Prados Reais. Não é muito longe daqui. Deixa eu ver pra onde. Tem que primeiro sair daqui e depois ir pra lá. Vamos lá. Saindo daqui, viramos à direita. Acredito que talvez até possamos encontrar alguma briga. Por ser uma área bem aberta.
Come on. Fly, Ambrosia.
Salve aí, Patão. Que bom que voltou. Estamos perto de encerrar aqui, ô Patões secundários. Acredito que talvez essa seja a última.
Where do we even start?
Yote mentioned the coastline. We can start there.
Inimigos.
See them?
I do. The flowers. Our friends.
Morre todo mundo. Pronto. Quem mais?
What do you see, boy.
O Minotauro?
Let's hope this is the last one.
Only one way to find out. This one.
Você acha que dá pra encerrar com estilo. Tô pensando, Patão. Aí. Stag. Morre. $50.000. E esse que a gente tá queimando. Vem todo mundo pra cá. Pronto. Acho que agora é hora de encerrar a batalha. Morre. Pronto. Conseguimos.
That was harder than I expected.
É isso aí, agora sim temos as flores. Vou aproveitar para farmar o Odin, que eu vou precisar lá na frente.
They're beautiful.
Do you think Jill will like them?
She'll love them. Come on. Let's go.
Vamos trazer a Jill pra cá.
It appears my work is done. The rest, as they say, is up to you. Well, you and the skies. We wouldn't want another thunderstorm now, would we?
Vamos falar com a Jill. Acho que ela vai gostar do presente que a gente arrumou pra ela.
Jill, there's something I'd like to show you.
There is? And where might this something be?
It's, not here. Now, I know this is sudden, but how would you fancy a trip to Oriflamme?
There are so many. This is what you wanted to show me. I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. The smile on your face is enough. We've been worried about you, Joshua and I. Do you remember when I took you to Man's Hill? Or tried to?
How could I forget? You saw me crying and thought a change of scenery might lift my spirits. In the end, it earned me a nasty cough and a stern scolding from your mother. But I felt wonderful nonetheless.
I'm sorry. I had no idea what I was getting us both into. But I couldn't bear to see you like that.
Before we left, my chambermaid told me she'd overheard your mother talking about my marriage prospects with some of the noblewomen at court. They were debating whether it would be more profitable to marry me off to one of the high houses instead of saving me for the ducal line. No one thought to ask me what I wanted. I was nothing to them. A pawn at best. I felt so trapped, so lonely.
I didn't know.
But I wasn't alone. You were there. Your hand in mine as we ran for those oaks. And I knew then, no matter what happened, I would be all right. I'll never forget that feeling. Before we broke camp, the morning after the storm, do you know what I did?
No? What?
I slipped away from my governess to climb the tor. And from there I saw a sea of petals, all reaching for the sun. And I realized that no matter how terrible the night, dawn would always come. That you would always come for me. And you have. Again and again.
Where do you see us? When all this is over?
I don't know. Not here, though. I think I've outgrown the twins. After everything we've been through, the realm just seems so small. I'll need some space to spread my wings.
Then that's what you'll have. And I'll stop at nothing to see that you do.
Os dois formam belo casal.
I never was much good at garlands, but it'll have to do.
I'll treasure it forever.
Thank you, Clive. For this, the flowers, for everything. It's exactly what I needed. You are my treasure. should probably be getting back. I expect the others are wondering where we are.
You're right. There's still much to do.
And we'll do it together.
É isso aí, missão cumprida. Conseguimos. Agora a Jill entrou no grupo. E deixa eu ver. Acho que não tem mais nenhuma secundária mesmo. Conseguimos resolver tudo. Eu vou ver se talvez hoje ou amanhã eu comece a gravar pelo menos o começo das caçadas. E quando eu voltar a fazer live, aguardem que vai ser para encerrar a história. Eu vou já ficar aqui no esconderijo. E é isso aí, galera. Agradeço a todo mundo que acompanhou até aqui. Conseguimos resolver todas as secundárias. Quem tiver aí, não esquece de deixar aquele like lá e compartilhar pra gente para dar aquela força e inscrito se for inscrito. Caso queira ajudar o canal, tem sistema de membros. E o Pix, caso queira ajudar financeiramente. E é isso aí, galera. Fiquem aí que vocês vão ser redirecionados a um canal parceiro. Eu vou me despedindo por aqui. Vou só salvar também. E é isso aí, galera. Nos vemos então no último episódio da história do Final Fantasy XVI. Falou!